KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Yeah. Woo! You know, we have some absolute, as you mentioned, some absolute rock stars. You know, it's a neat show because what we talked about, this show is actually going to be about if you're going to stand up, stand out.
Yes, something
and we
that
have
you shamelessly stole from Randall Martin.
absolutely. Randall, this is 100% on you, buddy. Let me just tell you that. But you know, I had to steal it from him because it was such a great line. So I figured, why not steal that, but also take the ladies that work with him.
Absolutely. And so our first one is Amanda Curl.
Amanda, how you doing?
Good morning.
And we were talking earlier this morning about, we actually kind of cut her off in the middle of our conversation, is, you know, that you've been able to distinguish yourself in the marketplace, and you've only been in the business about
a couple of years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And already you're rocking it. So
right.
Talk about your background, how you got into real estate, and...
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I just want to say hello to all of the listeners here in Houston. My background is in music and entertainment. That's where I started marketing as well. So basically, I did that for several years on both the creative and the business side. And a few years back, I had to make a personal decision to enable me to be in Houston more because I was traveling a lot. When you're a musician, like Joe would know, there's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of gigs, you know, in clubs, a lot of traveling. And I have a young daughter. I have a 6-year-old. And so I needed something that was going to enable me to be more home for her. And my mom was in real estate. And she said, Amanda, you know what? Why don't you get your license? I said, you know, that's not a bad idea. I've always been fascinated with architecture. I've always been fascinated with real estate. I watched her coming and going, you know, every morning getting dressed up and, you know, going out there and getting it. And so it inspired me. I said, that's a great idea, even if I do it on just a personal level because I want to get into investment. You know, I'll save on the commissions there for being my own agent, you know, buying and selling. And, you know, I went in to meet with Katie Maxwell. Hello, Katie. I hope you're listening. That's our broker.
I'm sure she is.
Yes,
she is a rock star.
Yes,
she is a rock star. Katie Maxwell is definitely a rock star. And I met with Katie. That was the first stop for me. And we clicked immediately. And I said, this is where I need to be. I need to be at Intero because this is the perfect fit for my personality. I am very opinionated. I'm very outspoken. I'm very driven, very independent. And I saw all of those qualities in a lot of the agents that were there. It's a little bit of a younger group, but very, very driven. And that's what I loved from the start. So, like I said, being in sales, now I'm, you know, flipping houses. I'm selling houses. Selling houses, it's not a far cry from selling music. You know, so I've been able to market myself because I'm really well, I do really well at dealing with people. You know, in music business and entertainment business, you deal with so many different types of people, so many different types of egos, so many different types of personalities. And you have to know how to adapt to those situations, to those people to get the job done. And it goes hand in hand with real estate. You know, you cannot be too abrasive. You cannot be too aggressive. And one thing that I've learned very, very quickly is you cannot be everything to everybody. So I might be the perfect agent for this seller or this buyer. They love my opinion. They love my style. But I might not for the next person. You know, they might want somebody a little bit more conservative, a little bit more, you know, normal. I'm not normal. I'm not normal.
I just derived that you're not normal now. Okay, that's good to know.
I gleaned from that.
Yes.
Real estate people aren't normal.
We're not.
And they have egos.
Yes.
Who knew?
Yes.
But you know, I'll tell you, it's very interesting what you're saying about that, Amanda, because one thing is absolutely true. I mean, I say this all the time is there's a person for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it be in a relationship, in business, or a personal relationship, etc. And sometimes the people you think that you're going to best get along with are ones you don't.
Right.
Some people you think are not going to like my style are the ones who like your style the most.
Right.
And so it's interesting, and it's good that you've defined that early to know that not everyone is always going to be a prospective client.
And I'm okay with that. I think that you have to be from the start okay with rejection. You cannot.
I reject that idea.
Yeah, well, I rebuke that idea. You cannot get into real estate or any type of sales and feel like I'm going to conquer every single client. Every single deal is going to be mine. It's not going to happen. You're setting yourself up for misery.
That's actually a great statement because
I
a lot of
agree.
people, they get
Yep.
rejected 1 or 2 times and they stop. And they say, well, or they'll do something one time that's a marketing idea and it didn't work. And so, that didn't work. And so they stop. And
Right.
it's repetition and consistency
It
in
absolutely
real
is.
estate. So there's people out there I know listening right now that want to know how you start.
Well, it's very in my opinion, it's just something that you have to dive into. You can't look at it as a hobby. You cannot look at it as a side hustle. You have to, if you're going to get into real estate and you want to succeed at real estate, and by no means I'm not at the pinnacle of where I want to be. I'm just scratching the surface. So I'm really nobody to give advice. But I feel like in the short period that I have been in real estate, I've been able to very quickly raise some eyebrows and very quickly make a name for myself. And like I said, I'm just scratching the surface, but just dive in.
Well, don't sell yourself short on that because people come in with new, fresh ideas. And a lot of people keep doing things the same way and getting the same results. So sometimes you get somebody comes in new that have no pre-notion as to what things are. It's outstanding because they do it so differently. And
What's the definition of insanity, as we say? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting
the
different
same
results,
results,
right?
You're going to get the same result. But,
Exactly.
And I was commenting this morning that you did a great post about coming on the show. I mean, you put together a nice presentation, put it on Facebook. I presume you might have put it on Twitter as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And it started marketing. And of course, it markets the show, which we love.
Right.
But it marketed yourself, and we were getting all sorts of comments on that.
Oh, yeah.
Posting and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we live in an age of social media, and I have to really be, I guess you can say, a fan of social media because it has brought me, believe it or not, some people, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Facebook, I don't force feed you what I do. I'm not going to force feed you my real estate services. I let you see Amanda as a person, as a businesswoman, as a mother, as a girlfriend. All of those things, you're going to get glimpses of my life. And so you're able to get those glimpses of my life, and then you can see what type of person I am, and you'll be more inclined to want to work with me. Believe it or not, a lot of my nonsense has generated a lot of business for me. A lot.
Well, give me an example of that. When you say your nonsense, what does that look like?
Well, my nonsense, like I said, I don't force feed anybody real estate. People know I do real estate. They know I'm a businesswoman. They know that I can sell your home. They know that I can get you top dollar. They know that I can find you the perfect home. But they also need to see aspects of Amanda the brand, Amanda the person, Amanda the mother. And so I'll show you pictures of me with my daughter, interacting with my daughter. I'll show you pictures of me having dinner with my girlfriends. I'll post something random that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. You might think I'm mad at the time, or you might think, oh, well, she might be going through something at the time. But it's all the layers of Amanda, the brand. And so that in a whole is going to set me apart, you know?
I like Amanda who says, hey, don't try to give me any of the spinach taco type stuff. I want the real deal. I want the real stuff. Now, that is cool.
Now, you brought in
Yes.
tacos this morning, Chris.
Thank
Tell me what
you.
those are again.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're going back and forth on Facebook, and this is one of the things I love. I'm a foodie. I love eating, and I grew up in Mexico all my life, and so Amanda, same thing. I grew up in Mexico, so a lot of times my taste for pozole and menudo and barbacoa and other things vary a lot from what the typical American taste is. So what was pretty interesting, though, was that is Amanda put out there when I said I was bringing breakfast tacos, she said, I want the real stuff also. I don't want any of this stuff that's made of fufu or, the spinach tortilla. I want the real stuff, the flour tortilla, the barbacoa
None of
with the
that
salsa
Chick-fil-A stuff,
habanero.
huh?
No, we're not doing Taco Cabana. No, we're not doing. No, nothing against it, but you know what? Like Chris mentioned here, we're bicultural. And that is a big part of my business as well. When I originally started at Intero, I was basically approached in the sense like, Amanda, okay, you know what? We have a lot of bicultural clients that, you know, speak English and Spanish. And then we have a lot of high-end buyers as well that only speak Spanish. They come in from Mexico City. They come in from South America. And we think that you're the perfect fit for that type of client. So that's primarily what I deal with. Although I deal with all kinds of people, that is my niche market. And I think that that's really important as an agent to know who is going to be your niche market. You need to know your lane.
The phrase we use is get rich in a niche.
Exactly.
But you got to figure out what that
Get rich
niche
in a
is. So how do you get your first client? Somebody's new, their license, the ink's still wet on their license. How do you get your first client?
Well, I guess different strokes for different folks. My first deal that I ever handled was a $1.1 million deal. And that happened just out of pure luck. You know, I just went knocking on some doors and talking to people. Like I said, I'm a talker. I'm, you know, very, very outspoken. I'm not afraid to talk. And I think that's a big deal. You cannot be shy. So I just, you know, I knocked on the door and I started talking to this guy, and he said, you know what, there's a lot of new development in the area. I have a rental property. It's generating some money for us. But you know what, I think it's time to cash in. Let's go ahead and do this. I said, hey, I'm a realtor. Let's do this. You know, and that's how it started, you know, and it's just been a lot of my own, my sphere of influence, my own friends, family, contacts. Like I said, I come from the music world, the entertainment, so I know half of Houston, you know, and so now that
I know the other half.
Yeah.
And so it's perfect.
Perfect mix right there. Can
So
you
is it
believe
true
it?
what they say about drummers?
Oh, yes. Stay away from the drummers. Stay away from them drummers, man.
Those are the wild and crazy ones right there.
Yes.
I tell you, they're the ones that keep the beat, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a fascination with the bass. I really do.
Gotcha.
You know, when I listen to a song, that's the first thing I'm listening to is the bass line. If it's a driven bass line, that's what I'm listening to.
Well, Megan Trainor always says it's all about that bass.
That's right.
No treble.
I think we're coming up against a break.
We are coming up against a break right now. You know, we're having a great time in the studio with Amanda, and we have Nicole on tap right now. But stay
On
tuned.
tap. Nicole
On
on
tap,
tap.
that is correct.
Cool.
But stay tuned. We're going on a break. We'll be right back.
When you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night. When an irresistible force such as you meets
And we're back.
immovable
We are. We're having a great time on the break. You know, we're talking about being the selfie queens over here, and myself included in that, by the way. Until I corrected myself of being a
The
king
selfie
amongst
king,
the group.
yes.
That is correct. So, but anyways, you know, we're having a great time. We're talking about standing up and standing out when you do it. Amanda just got through going a great way if she's standing out, but we have another guest right here, and she
Nicole
is what?
Lopez.
She's like a three-timer on us.
This is their three-peat.
She's a three-peater.
I'm a three-peater.
You're a three-peater.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So, you know, Cole, for all those who have not heard of you before, though, let us
Okay.
know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
All right. So I'm Nicole Lopez. I am also with Intero Real Estate Services, just like Amanda. Hey, Katie.
I am going to invoice them, by
Yeah,
the way.
Katie gets an invoice today for sure.
So I started out in the builder business back in 2010, back when things were really rough. So I've been in the industry for about 5 years now. I decided after about 3 years in that builder business wasn't for me. I liked doing things on the weekends. So I took that knowledge and I kind of brought it over to the other side of the desk, so have you, and got my license. And I've been licensed for about 2.5, going on 3 years, so almost 6 years now in total that
Oh,
I've been in
wow.
the industry. Yeah. And similar to Amanda, I also have a 6-year-old daughter. And my mom is also in the industry. She works with a builder, Meritage Homes, and then my father does
Meritage is
mortgage.
going to
Yep.
get an invoice, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Mom.
We don't really send
No,
it.
but you know, you're right, though. You know, I mean, one of the things that I was listening to when Amanda was speaking was y'all have a very similar background. And you know, you're with a very, like a word, a young hip
firm.
company
Yes.
who really focuses in on being different, you know, and,
Yeah.
and on bringing on individuals such yourself who are high level, very skilled individuals, very strong in marketing, but also who know their niche. You know, as Rob was saying, get rich in a niche, also know that niche. And you are extremely successful. Obviously, known you for a little while. up there in the Kingwood area, it's just been booming. I mean, every time we hear something going on in Kingwood, it seems like Nicole Lopez is signed to it.
I'd like to think so. Thanks for tooting my horn. But yeah,
That's our job.
Yes.
yeah. I mean, so I did choose a broker that was inside the loop, but with my age range and being young and being newer into the industry, I wanted to be with a group of people that would push me further and that would help develop me into a better agent. And I was feeling where I was very stagnant, and everybody was very complacent with what they were doing. Everything was very old school. And I wanted to take the ideas and innovations that I had in branding myself. I've actually just set up a brand, and I'm pushing that forward. So while Amanda's been branding herself and her name for a while, and she's been extremely successful in that, my brand is my little baby right now. So nurturing that, growing that, and developing that into the future.
And I saw that, by the way. I saw the new branding that you were doing around
Yes.
Nicole Lopez.
And Real Simple Solutions. So,
Real simple solutions.
Yeah.
I love that. And, the color that you chose was sort of like a Cabernet, for lack of a better
Actually,
word.
Antero chose that color. It's the same
Antero.
color that Berkshire Hathaway Home Services uses. And they are a sister company. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do remember. I do
Berkshire
know the
Hathaway
sister company. That
purchased
is
Antero
correct.
about a year ago.
That is correct.
So,
that is correct. So, I mean, but what Nicole has out there is the same exact thing, is the branding, the marketing you're doing around that.
Right.
Very interesting. One of the things that you do a lot, as Amanda was saying, you're also very active on Facebook. People can see who you are.
Right.
For better or for worse sometimes, because there's some stalkers that you both have gone through, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We deal with
that'll
those.
be a segment we'll talk about in a minute, by the way, about that. But you also do a lot of branding on Facebook
Yeah.
and on Twitter and,
And
a lot of
that's-
those. And
For me, that's been crucial because I do attract a lot of business from Facebook, from Instagram, from Twitter. And for the younger generation, everybody's online. Everybody is very social media driven. So for me to cater to that crowd is huge. And I didn't want to separate myself and have an independent business page. I didn't want to have that distinction between Nicole is blowing up real estate in your face and then Nicole's personal life. I wanted it to be a good mix of everything that I was doing together. So just like Amanda's, people could see the layers of who I was as a person in addition to how I operate and run my business.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because I don't have a business page either, and that was the exact reason was I said I want to see all those facets.
Right. And I think the consumers out there want to see those facets of who they are working with and who they're letting into their home and who's really working to protect their what is likely their largest investment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would agree. And a lot of times, as we mentioned, people do business with other people. It's a very relationship-oriented business.
Absolutely.
And so to be able to put that out there, I'm the same exact way. To be able to put that out there and know who you're dealing with. I tell everybody, I don't apologize for who I am. Same exact thing you don't. I am who I am.
Right.
I am that individual. 95% of the time, individuals love doing it. At the 5% of the time, if I'm too over the top or et cetera, unfortunately, I can't control that, right?
Right.
Same exact thing for you, though. You are who you are. You're great at marketing. You post a lot of great stuff out there. And so individuals who want to get involved with that, that's what they're going to see. They see the person first, and then they can get involved with the rest of it.
Absolutely. And I definitely recommend that for someone that is starting up, just to start integrating what they're doing in real estate or, if they're in mortgage or if they're in title, start integrating that into their everyday Facebook profile page and let people know. It's just kind of like a little drip campaign. Let people know that you're there and let people know that you're there for them, whether it's in real estate or whatever it is that you do.
Because let them know you're a person.
Yeah.
I'm a person. I'm not just
and I happen to also do real estate. Hey.
and it's a great way to approach because people want to do with business with people they like.
Right.
And know and understand and trust. And that's probably the biggest motivator is trust.
Well, I used to way prior, been in mortgage for 12 years, but prior to that, I was actually an international consultant. And the term out there was, it's not personal. It's not personal. I used to always counter that and saying, no, business is personal.
Absolutely.
You do business on a personal basis.
Well,
You make changes and you make relationships and you make opportunities on a personal basis. So business is personal.
And again, real estate, I think, is very different. That we do touch people at a very personal level because we're dealing with their biggest investment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're going to end up meeting and knowing their entire family, and we're going to spend a lot of time with them. That's not always true in business. If you go to a store, you buy something, and you leave, that's not a relationship. But you're
and
6 months to a year.
Right.
Right. When I was in the builder side, building a home, and a lot of real estate agents do the whole builder process with their clients. building a home, it's one of the only things that you will see from beginning to end. You go buy a car, you never see that car on the production line. So there is a lot of emotional attachment to that purchase, whether you're building it or if it's a resale. There's emotion tied into there. So you have to be, we're taking selfies in the studio right now. Hey!
Okay, we've been known to do that.
Yeah, I had to do a, what's it called when you jump in the back of somebody right there?
Oh, photobomb.
Photobombing?
Photobomb.
Yeah, but it is a very emotional attachment that you have to your home, whether you're buying or selling your home. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to go into a home and just have to tell someone when you're listing it for sale, like, hey, I really like your things, but nobody else is going to like your
You know what, we're not
things.
selling
But that dead head over there and over there and over there and over there.
And we're not selling your things. We're selling your home.
We're
So
selling
get
your
all the
home.
things,
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
it away.
But just like Amanda does, creating your own brand and understanding that there's an emotional tie to real estate and keeping yourself very personal and personable with your clients is huge for someone that's starting out, that's trying to build themselves up. And like I've been doing the whole international thing for probably like 8 months now. And so just differentiating yourself, like that's a little cool niche market that I'm focusing on right now. And
And it helps to be able to go abroad every once in a while and just go party out there, doesn't it?
yeah, I'm going to Costa Rica next month.
Take me with you.
Yeah, you can definitely come. We've got some space open for that tour, but
We might be doing the show remote.
That is true.
From
That wouldn't be a
Puerto
bad
Rico, we could do
idea,
that.
actually.
I think we should definitely work
That
on
would
doing
not be
something
a bad
like that.
idea. And Jose, live from Costa Rica.
Yes,
The real estate rat pack.
that would work.
But no, you have been. You've been doing a lot of stuff down in Costa Rica. You've been doing a lot of stuff on the international side of things.
Yep.
As you mentioned, building that niche as well. You know, along with everything else that you do, though. You know, and not giving any numbers away, but you have a lot of property in escrow right now.
Yes.
And you do a lot of new home builds as well. How does that process? How do you get so many new home builds?
Okay.
And I like the way you spoke about, by the way, when you build a home, it's so much more personal than buying a car, for example, where you don't get to see the product.
Right.
But how do you go through that process, and how are you being so successful in that area?
So in acquiring new home business, I do work with several builders. I have builder programs that are set up. I go meet with different builders in my general area. I farm Kingwood, Humble, Atascocita. And I go up there and I meet with them weekly, bi-weekly. I bring them lunch on the weekends. You know, I'm here for them to help them.
Right.
I want to help the builders have as many contracts or many clients under contract as possible. So I offer programs to the builders to help the buyers get under contract or to get them over the hump or help them overcome obstacles that are keeping them from buying. So understanding that, first-time home buyers, they're going to need seminars because a lot of them don't know how they can purchase or buying out leases or there's so many different things that I can do to help because for me, I don't mind giving up a piece of my pie because a piece of it's better than none.
You know, I
talk
can't
about that all the
tell you
time.
how many agents I've coached over the years. One of the first things I tell them, I said, instead of a builder's coming and bringing you donuts, go take them donuts.
Yep.
Because
Right.
building that relationship, because every once in a while that builder rep has a house they need to sell.
Absolutely.
Or take them
listing-
Barbacoa tacos, by the way. Those are even better.
Yeah.
Yes,
don't
barbacoa
necessarily
tacos.
put the
That was
donut.
just an example because they're always the expectation from realtor viewpoint is, they need to come,
They need-
Right. What have they done
connect
for
with
me
us.
lately? Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and
it's actually
it's the other way around.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've been doing that for several years, and it's been very productive. Helping them helps me, and you would be surprised the number of repeat clients that I will help in that process. And when they're ready to sell, they call me and they say, Nicole, we'd like you to sell our house, and then we'd also like you to help us find another one.
Right.
So I mean, it's just a trickle effect of getting yourself out there. You take a pay cut at first.
Right.
But it's completely worth it.
But, as you mentioned, a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing.
Absolutely.
And, too oftentimes people want to have a whole lot of nothing. And so you sit there and go, if you're not going to make anything or you're going to, what is it worth? I mean, at the end of the day, most people don't realize this is that we're in the business of a commission-only sales structure. Mm-hmm. So it's in our best interest to make sure that we do the best for you, but that we also ultimately get the job done for you so that all of us can get paid.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't get the job done for you, none of us make money, and the client ultimately is not happy in that case. So it's one of those things. A lot of people sit there and I tell this all the time. Use a professional. Don't go with the FSBOs. That's not using a professional. Okay. list and work with one of our great real estate professionals. We have two great ladies right here in the studio to work with. But and if they're not the right ones for you, find a right one.
Well, they've said if you think hiring a professional is expensive, hire an amateur.
Absolutely. That'll cost you.
I love that. Well, time flies, you're having fun. We are 30 minutes in, 30 more minutes to
We got 30
go.
more minutes. We're rocking.
We are rocking along, but stay tuned. We're going up against a break. We'll be right back.
You know when that shark bites with its teeth, baby, scarlet.
And we're back.
I really think we have a show that's best for the break.
I would agree. I would agree.
An amalgam of everything we talked about on the break.
Yes, we have Michael Roddy here. Great Michael Roddy, by the way, taking pictures of the lovely ladies, the still shots. And we have Ashley.
Ashley Bowles.
And you guys will find out what that looked like afterwards.
He swears he didn't do anything. Of course, we have Tim O'Neill in the house with State Farm.
We do have
Our
Tim
great
O'Neill in the
sponsor.
house.
So we're always happy to see him. He's pretty quiet in the corner today.
That is correct. No one puts Tim O'Neill in the corner.
Well, he
Yep.
put himself in the corner.
That is true.
So-
That is true. He puts himself there all the time.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
He needs a spanking. There might be somebody here.
Okay. Okay. Now we're starting to sound like the break.
No, we are starting like the break. That is true. That is true. The next couple segments, it's open mic, so it's really about talking about, again, standing up, standing out. We had some great conversations with both of you beautiful ladies in regards to what you've done to get to where you are today. Let's talk a bit about what you're going to do in the future. What do you sort of see in real estate? What do you see for yourself? Nicole, we'll start with you.
All right, so one of the things that I've done with my branding with Real Simple Solutions is I have started to compile lists of vendors and trades and things of that nature, and I'm doing my best to make the entire process, especially with the listing, as easy from beginning to end. So we'll do, I'm paying for pre-inspection checks. Sorry, Ashley, I'm trying to make it harder for you to find things back there. But working with Ashley's one of my main inspectors that I do use when he's available because he's getting crazy booked up right now.
That's because he's hanging with the Rat Pack.
Exactly.
He's hanging with me all the time. And
But going through the homes initially with the handyman and fixing a lot of the things that will be found on inspection reports and making sure that the home is in tip-top, pristine shape when it does go on market. So I'm offering that service as part of Real Simple Solutions and getting with the best of the best in lending and the best with title companies. So that way I know from beginning to end that my transactions are going to run as smoothly as possible. Now, and I compile a list, of course, because we can't say here, use each individual person, right? So I give them an option of who to use, but I can guarantee that these people from beginning to end are going to get the job done. So that's been my focus in Real Simple Solutions, is making sure that no stone is left unturned and that there are solutions to the problems that come up in everyday real estate transactions.
I would thoroughly agree. And that's a great way of saying it, by the way, is knowing that you have a group of individuals you can go to that you trust during that process, because knowing that supply chain, for lack of a better word, and if you have a weak link in that supply chain, that can ruin a lot of different things right there. That can change the impact. With a lot of changes coming, especially from a mortgage perspective, in which we're going to have integrated disclosures as of August 1st. And that's going to change some of the 3-day rules, et cetera, et cetera. It's important to know that you're going to have individuals across and up and down that supply chain that can provide numbers, that can finance correctly, that can disclose out correctly from a title perspective, that can close all right, so that you're not getting those delays, because those delays are what individuals end up suffering from the most.
And people's perception also is that we're the first line of defense in any transaction.
Right.
And they might call and fuss at you from a realtor to you, Chris, but from the consumer, no matter what goes wrong,
yes,
we're
It's
the
our
one
fault.
responsible.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I talk about
I always
this.
thought it was your fault no matter what, even if I
in
do
legal
something.
and ethics update, which
actually Rob's fault.
which I teach.
It's Rob's fault, yeah.
It's my fault. It used to be Bush's fault, right?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what happens, I just say blame Rob.
Yeah.
If you're ever in a closing and someone says something, just say Rob Cook.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I didn't roll. I was that powerful. Gosh. So I should get more respect.
Exactly, right? And Amanda, how about you? Where do you sort of see yourself?
She actually touched on something that I started working on as well last year. I really need my clients to know and feel confident that the people that I work with closely, starting with the mortgage and ending with the closing, the title company, they're going to nurture them and give them the attention and the respect that I give them, regardless if it is a first-time home buyer or if it is a luxury clientele that I'm dealing with. I want them to know that they will be given the same attention and catered to the way that I cater to my whole team. You know, I want my whole team, and that's really important because I want the transaction to be as seamless, especially for a first-time home buyer, because a lot of times they're very unsure about the process. They're very intimidated by the process. They think, oh, well, this is too complicated. I have to reach out to all of these people, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. You know what? I'm just going to continue to lease. This is just too much for me. And I assure them from the go that I have several professionals in every department, because it all takes a team to get the job done so that they can reach their goal, so that they can get top dollar, so that they can get into the home that they want to get into as quickly as possible for their family. And so I started working on that. Shout out to all of my friends in the real estate game, Eric Maya with Premier Lending, Joey, and Angie over at Farmers. There's a lot of people that I work with.
I don't think one of those are our sponsors. Like,
No,
we'll
none
have
of
to
them
bleep
are.
that section.
But they're a part of my team, and so you know they help me a lot of times with my deals. And of course, I work with different people because sometimes you need somebody who's fluent in Spanish, and that's really important because a lot of my clientele is Spanish speaking, and I do cater a lot to the Latino community. So I wanted to make sure that everybody that I deal with.
Houston's favorite
bilingual agent. Yes, I am Houston's favorite bilingual agent. So if you are Spanish speaking, si hablan español, necesitan alguien que te va a ayudar a comprar una casa, call me. Me llaman. Okay? And it's important that they are comfortable in the language. And so that's my team for my bilingual and Spanish speaking. And of course, I have other people that I work with that don't need Spanish speaking, But that's been a big deal for me, is making sure that my clients are catered to and taken care of the way that I like to take care of them. And another thing that I'm dealing with right now that I'm working on is, my luxury clients. That's something that I specialize in. I'm very, very much so fascinated by architecture. I'm fascinated by everything high end. I study it. And so
2 seconds of dead air can take
we were taking a little selfie. That was not my fault. That was not my fault. But
That was a Kodak. We had to pose for it.
I do deal with a lot of Houston socialites. I deal with some of Houston's athletes. And high-end buyers that come in from Mexico and South America as well. So with that type of clientele, you have to be very on top of your game because they want exclusivity. They want the best of the best. They don't want any hiccups in the deal. They want to come in, fly into the city, look at the properties, and fly back out and then make a deal, and that's how it's done. And so you have to be on your A game when you're dealing with those type of people, and with any type of people, especially.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sound from what you're telling me that whether it's 100,000 or 10 million, that you're going to treat them the same. They're going to get the same experience from you.
The same experience from myself and from anybody that I work with. You're going to get it regardless if it's a $100,000 purchase or a $10 million purchase. And I mean, there's times, and I'm working on this as well, because a lot of us agents, we're very, very dedicated to our craft. We're dedicated to our clients. And so we're on the computer, we're on our phones texting and making phone calls 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I've tried to work on, balancing it out so that I have a little bit more free time, in the evenings. And then, we're up at the crack of dawn, So it's not an easy profession by any means. There's not a whole lot of security in it, but just like in anything else, you're going to get back whatever you put in.
Bill Napick just texted me, and he said, he's with Stuart, and he said, I love it. Takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It really does.
Thank you, Bill.
That's a huge deal for me.
And of course, Bill does a show that's beyond this afternoon.
That is correct.
Real Estate Matters.
Real Estate Matters at 1 o'clock, and then he's got another show at 4 o'clock. So he sort of dominates the airwaves today.
Yeah, I know. And Bill's been a great friend for us, and he actually did that recording for us last week.
Yes.
That
prompted this show.
Yes. It was awesome.
So big shout out to Bill Napick again, by the way. So, No, that is great. And every once, and we're taking a lot of pictures in the studio. So if you ever hear
that was
dead
the funniest
air
thing
and a whole bunch of
I'd seen
laughing,
a long time. Y'all stopped to pose, and you also stopped talking.
I
Like,
know. Well, I mean, you have this nice big camera right here in your face. It's just kind of a natural reaction.
well, I was thinking someone who takes as many selfies as you two do. I didn't think the camera in your face would,
You know, and
would be any kind of impact.
my broker, our broker, she's always, kind of poked fun at me because she's like, golly, are you going to be in the car today? Are you going to be in the bathroom today? Are you going to be at a restaurant today? Where's your selfie coming from today, Amanda? And I'm like, hey, you know what? Don't knock the selfie game. Don't knock my selfie game, because my selfie game is not just a bunch of nonsense. It's actually, like I said, there's layers to this, and it just kind of, shows you the woman.
Working.
Yeah, it's working.
And I've enjoyed your selfies on Facebook.
Now, and speaking of that, by the way, I do want to talk to both of you about this, because every once in a while, I'll all of a sudden hear, and y'all will say, guys, or perverts, or whoever else is out there,
oh, no.
Stop it, right?
Yeah.
I guess, because you also get the bad side of that, right?
We do. If you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, you saw a video that I posted last week. A couple of very nice gentlemen who friended me on Facebook got upset when I didn't accept their friend request. I didn't know who they were. So they Googled me, they found my phone number, and they called me and said, girl, I was just trying to take you out on a date. And I'm like, no.
It is not a dating site.
Yeah.
No, my Facebook page is not for dating. Thank you.
But, people get confused with that. People really do get confused with that.
I actually had a huge issue happen a few weeks ago with somebody that came into my home to repair my dryer. And he took it upon himself to find me on social media. Never once did I give him my name or try to have any type of conversation other than that of, please fix my dryer because I'm going nuts. And he found me on social media, and he started sending me these very explicit messages, and he just kept coming back into my home. I don't know if he was really trying to fix my dryer or not, but he came into my home like 3 times. It was a big disaster, and it ended up with the cops and everything like that. So the social media platform does work for you, but you have to be very, very careful, because as somebody of social service, your availability, your accessibility is right there. People can find your phone number. They can find your information very easily. And so with that comes the negative side of it as well.
Yeah, you always have to be careful. I'm going to talk about that, because I have some funny stories all the time.
That's not funny. That's scary.
Yes. But I've got some other side of things that we can talk about on the good side. But we are coming up against the break. We have one more segment to go.
This is going too fast.
It goes way too fast when you're having fun. Again, you can reach us 800-808-5548. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
She's there in the evening. She never comes late. All day she spins around, but never makes him wait.
And we're back. The lighting in this room is horrible, I just found out.
Yeah.
And my makeup is showing whenever they take the pictures.
That's why we're doing it in radio and not TV.
Well, they say I've got a great face for radio, though.
Yes, you do.
So, yeah.
Like a DJ.
Exactly, right?
I don't know if that's...
I don't know if it's good or bad, yeah.
I have no idea what that means. Even.
Yeah, I don't know what a DJ really looks like, but I guess I might look like a DJ somehow.
You have a good DJ voice. You have a good radio
I'm DJ K. I'm DJ CK.
Yeah, well, I'm OMR.
You're OMR. That is correct.
Right. So
that is true.
Anyway, we're talking about safety on because that's something that new agents need to know, because they are going to be on social media, especially the younger ones.
Yes.
Be on there. That there's some pitfalls to it, and we were talking about that. There's some dangers and how you can draw a line and have some boundaries with that. So, talk us more about how do you draw a boundary? How do you defend against that?
Well, I try not to be nasty about it. I know that there's going to be some kind of negativity that comes along with posting, selfies or any type of, pictures of myself as a woman. It's just going to come with the territory. But, there are lines that people should not cross, and you should not be explicit with your, comments. And so I think if anybody follows me on any of my social media platforms, they'll know that, I don't usually comment back a whole lot, but if you do cross the line, I will be very quick with a response. You know, there's you know, my mom follows me, my family follows me, and you know, I don't want them to see anything like that. So I try to keep it, you know, as professional as I can. Of course, you know, I do like to post selfies like everybody else, but you know, you have to learn to be respectful as well. If you want to express that you like my selfie or you think it's pretty, whatnot. Or, you know, if you really want to go the extra mile and inbox me, I mean, I really don't read my inbox messages a whole lot, but, you know, if you want to express that you want to take me out on a date or something, like, do it in private. That, you know.
I got nothing.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, that's a lot
I
of
was like, dang, the inbox is out now.
Oh, my inbox. Oh, my God. If you saw my inboxes, it's insane. I don't
I'm
even
sure it
open
is.
them. I don't even open them because I already know what it's about. So I've like, if it doesn't have like, I need a realtor, I need an agent, I don't even open
So
it.
guys out there, you're looking for a date, you have to get your own radio show to get meet her.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're handling a lot of social media. How do you keep up with all that? Do you use Hootsuite or something like that?
No, I have two phones.
No, I've got two phones, third on the way.
I have two phones that, you know, I just kind of like go, you know, bouncing from, you know, phone to phone. And I have just my times where I kind of like have, you know, I've studied it enough to know when the peak hours are for people. So I kind of try to arrange my post around those times. And there will be days where I'm more active than others. But it's all about balance, you know. It's really just all about balance in everything in life.
And Nicole, how about you? I mean, obviously you're out there a lot. We talked about social media. You know, we've been on social media for a long time. You know, what's obviously you had some bad stories as well. But how do you balance that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like any type of work-life balance. What we do and how I promote myself on social media is essentially part of my job, and it's how I get myself out there. So, you know, I do set time aside for it, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes because you become accustomed to doing it. So Instagram, I know #Houston Realtor, #Houston Real Estate, #Houston. Like you automatically know what to go to for the certain type of post and the target audience you're trying to hit with each of those posts that you're doing. And just like Amanda, you research times that you should post, days that you should post, times when people are actually active and they reach the most amount of people on that you are connected
And
to
what
through
times
those
are
platforms.
Yep.
For people that listen, we have, like I said, we have agents out there would love to have some hints.
Right.
What times do you find that work best?
So typically in our age group, people are checking social media, number one, when they first wake up in the morning.
Okay.
They're checking it during their lunch hour. And they're checking it typically right before they leave to go home from work because they're bored and they're trying to get out and they're passing time just to get out of work. Because
And
when
they want to know
somebody,
where to go.
yeah, because when somebody, or you know, like the 3, 4, 5 o'clock hours, because when someone gets home, they're either going to the gym or they're cooking dinner or they're dealing with family. They're not typically on consistently posting or checking their social media between the hours of like 5 and 8 o'clock. After then it starts to spike up a little bit because you have those 8 to 10 o'clock hours. But first thing in the morning, so if you could hit a 7:30 a.m., 8 o'clock in the morning post or slightly before, you're going to get decent traffic on that lunch hour and then right before the work hour ends. And that's what's been successful for me. I'm not sure if
My posts are really, I guess, the greatest response to my posts are always going to be, like you said, early in the morning, right around between 7:30 and 8:30, right before people go into work. And then I've noticed that at nighttime, like right around between 9 and 10:30. 9 p.m. and 10:30, those are peak hours. And that's kind of like when I like to post something that's just a little bit on the lighter side, just to kind of end the day with a laugh or something that'll make you think, not necessarily anything that pertains to me or what I do, but just something that I find entertaining or amusing or silly. You know, I like to post stuff like that. So the morning I like to focus more on my real estate, and nighttime I like to keep it a little bit more casual.
Now, let me warn you, if you get a post from Nicole and it shows her working out and you say, wow, that's pretty cool, she will actually make you work out with her and take you over to a CrossFit gym.
Yes, I saw that.
And work you out and almost kill you, by the way, speaking from
you
experience.
didn't die, did you?
I didn't, but I'll tell you, I was sore the next day.
Yeah, I kicked Chris's backside a
Oh
couple
gosh,
of times.
You're like, okay,
but-
now we got to run around the corner again. I'm
Yeah.
like, struggling to get around there.
Speaking of working
Yes.
out and going back towards the social media, another really good platform for getting yourself out there are videos, because there's so many photos that can be posted, but typically you get a fairly good response if you're posting a video. Like you had a really good one, I think last week, talking about overcoming obstacles and putting yourself out there. And that one I watched and it hit me.
Yeah, I think, I mean, with that post, I was just so inspired. I had actually gone downtown and met with a client, and, he had a big, beautiful office, and it just had an amazing view. And I was just so inspired by that because I knew of his story. And I'm just always inspired by people who have worked their way from the ground up. They don't come from a wealthy background. They may have a past that has been, volatile or some issues, just like we all have. We all have problems. We all have stresses. We all have, issues in our life that can weigh us down. So I think that you have to, as an individual, regardless if you're in real estate or if you're in any other type, just in life, you have to get to a point where you're so comfortable and you're so confident within yourself and you love yourself so much that you're like able to forgive everything and everyone who has ever hurt you, and you're able to forgive yourself, and you're just free. That liberty allows you to soar. It allows you to reach your fullest potential. And that as a person is so important to get to that point. And it takes a lot of trial and error to get there. And there will be people that try to knock you and say, that's silly, that you're never going to make it. You can't do it. Or like myself, I'm a single mother. Nicole's a single mother. We have a lot of odds against us. Being a minority as well, that there's another odd against us, so.
I hate to tell you, you're no longer the minority. You're looking at the minority right now.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's true because Latinos are a huge demographic here in the United States. But, there are a lot of, hang-ups that we hang on to, and they don't allow us to reach our fullest potential. So once you're able to get to that place, that's the best.
Yeah, and get rid of the energy vampires.
Oh my
Yes.
God, yes.
Yeah, you have to learn how to give. I tell everybody my philosophy has always been pretty simple. It's positive thinking leads to positive action, leads to positive results. And I've always said that. Everyone who knows me knows those are the three words I live by, or the saying I live by. And the reason why is you have to get negative energy. You got to get it out of your life. You have to, because it's the only way you can move forward.
I've gotten rid of people who someone used to ride Harleys with all the time.
Yes.
Negative all the time. I just said, I'm done.
My
Right.
ex-husband.
Yeah, we
Gone.
Done.
Hey, you know what? That's the thing. And sometimes you feel obligated to still associate with these people or still interact with these people
But you
because they might
don't.
be family, it might be friends you grew up with, but they're just so cancerous at times, so negative, and that weighs you down.
And it's okay to have a conversation, especially with family, and you're not going to get rid of them. Have that boundary. Say, look,
Space.
I cannot be around you.
You stay in Galveston, I'll stay in Pearland.
But
And when you're coming here, let me know, and I'll move further north.
Now we'll move into the loop.
okay to have that conversation. Is that this is I can't take on all your stuff and deal with my stuff. We need to be more positive about
And
that.
just
You can do it nicely. You can do it
constantly support and reinforce how great the next person is. You know what I mean? Because everybody has their lane. Everybody has something to bring to the table. You cannot be everything to everybody, but when you learn what you're good at and how to make that come to its full potential, and you are able to see greatness in other people, you're able to compliment the next person and say, you know what? Wow, that's a strength that you got, or that's a beauty that you
great
got.
strength of a great person
Right.
is to be able to see strengths in other people.
Exactly.
Chris, are we coming up like 3 minutes?
We are coming in about 2 minutes, right? So we got to go through our lightning round.
Well, yeah. Well, you know how the lightning round works here.
That is
Nicole.
I
correct.
don't know.
No.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Oh,
And I'm
the lightning
scared.
round is
Yeah, basically, in 30 seconds or less, let us know what you want our listeners to leave with, and then let us know how we can reach you if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, my name is Amanda Corral, and I am Houston's favorite bilingual agent. I will help you get top dollar for the sale of your home, and I will put you in the perfect home if you're looking to buy. And just reach out to me at amanda@interohouston.com. You can also look me up, amandacorral.com. Look for me on social media, and I'm your girl.
How about yourself, Nicole?
All right, guys. I am Nicole Lopez, Real Simple Solutions, Intero Real Estate Services. the thing that I would like to leave anybody is if you're a new agent and you're looking to grow your business or you need ideas, tips, tricks, definitely reach out to me. You can get me at Nicole@InteroHouston.com or NicoleGetsItSold@gmail.com. That's my cheesy one.
I like that one.
I like
Yeah.
it, though.
Yeah, but you guys can definitely reach out to me there. And like Amanda said, you're looking to buy, sell, and you're north of I-10 because I don't really like to go outside of my comfort zone. But yeah, I'm definitely your girl. You can look me up as well on social media platforms. And I definitely encourage you to go out there and take a look at how we do things.
Well, these are the great ladies of Intero, Randall Martin, Katie Maxwell. Thank you all very much. We like to leave with a good saying. Bill Napick, this is for you, by the way. He sent this in. It says, in the end, it's not going to matter how many breaths you took, but how many moments took your breath away, which is always a really good one.
That's a great saying.
Y un
Today
saludo
got taken away as usual. Until next time, we are out.
Hi, Daniel.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is
I'm
Chris
Frank.
is Frank.
I'm
He's
Dean.
Dean, and I'm Sammy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word, KKHT.